Warning: the following contains images of graphic violence and not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Who is Michael Myers? Michael Myers made his first appearance in the 1978 film Halloween. At the beginning of Halloween, a 6-year-old Michael murders his teenage sister Judith on Halloween night in 1963. 15 years later, he escapes Smith's Grove Sanitarium and returns to his hometown of Henfield, Illinois, where he stalks a teenage babysitter named Laurie Strode, while his psychiatrist, Dr. Sam Loomis, attempts to track him down. After murdering 3 of Laurie's friends, Michael attacks her as well. She fends him off long enough for Loomis to arrive and shoot Michael 6 times, knocking him off a balcony. When Loomis goes to check the body, he finds that Michael has disappeared. 4. Halloween 2, 1981, picks up directly where the original ended. Michael follows Laurie to the local hospital and kills the staff one by one. Loomis discovers that Laurie is Michael's younger sister and rushes to the hospital to find them. Laurie shoots Michael in the eyes, and Loomis blows up the operating theater while Laurie escapes. Michael emerges from the explosion, engulfed in flames, before finally collapsing. Who is Laurie Strode? Laurie Strode first appears in the original Halloween, 1978. The 17-year-old Laurie, Curtis, is a high school student who has plans to babysit Tommy Doyle, Brian Andrews, on Halloween night, 1978. However, throughout the day, she keeps seeing a mysterious masked man watching her wherever she goes. Unbeknownst to her, he is Michael Myers, Nick Castle, an escaped mental patient who murdered his sister, Judith Myers, Sandy Johnson, 15 years before and has begun stalking her. Laurie notices Michael watching her and becomes increasingly worried, though her best friends Annie, Nancy Loomis, and Linda, P.J. Sauls, brush off her concerns. As Laurie babysits Tommy, Myers kills Annie and Linda in the house across the street. Growing concerned when they fail to call her, Laurie goes to investigate and sees their corpses laid out for her to find, before being attacked by Michael. Barely escaping, Laurie races back to the Doyle house. Michael follows, but Laurie manages to fend him off long enough for Tommy and Lindsay to escape. Laurie is saved by Dr. Sam Loomis, Donald Pleasance, Michael's psychiatrist, who shoots him off the balcony. When Loomis goes to check Michael's body, he finds it missing. An unsurprised Loomis stares off into the night, while Laurie begins sobbing in terror.
Laurie, why didn't you wait for me? We did. 15 minutes. You totally never showed. That's not true. Here I am.
What's wrong, Annie? You're not smiling.
I'm never smiling again. Paul dragged me into the boys' locker room.
Exploring uncharted territory?
Totally charted. Just talk. Sure. Old Jerko got caught throwing eggs and soaping windows. His parents grounded him. Can't come over to him.
I thought you were babysitting tonight.
The only reason she babysits is to have a place to...
Shit.
I have a place for that.
I forgot my chemistry book.
So who cares? I always forget my chemistry book and my math book and my English book and my, my French book and, well, who needs books anyway? I don't need books. I always forget all of my books. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you have your books or not. Hey, isn't that Devon Graham?
I don't think so.
I think he's cute.
Hey, jerk! Speed kills! God, can't you take a joke?
You know, Annie, someday you're gonna get us all into deep trouble.
Totally.
What's up guys, Enigma here, and today I'm going to be telling you the real life story of a man who would in the dead of night break into homes dressed in a rubber mask just like this one and sexually assault people. Not only this, but he was actually known to stalk his victims in a similar fashion to a famous movie character. The story of the Beast of Jersey would, in part, go on to inspire the costume and traits of Michael Myers, probably the greatest scary movie villain of all time. The resemblance of the costume is uncanny. The extent of the terrors committed by the Beast of Jersey were thought to be known until recently, when an inquest was held that actually found that among all of the despicable acts he committed, he would also prowl the halls of children's care homes dressed in his rubber mask looking for victims. Children who had by this point grown into adults recalled seeing this face in the dead of night peering into their rooms through the keyhole, lit by a flickering light. It seemed like something straight out of a horror movie. This is the story of the Beast of Jersey, the real-life Michael Myers. The Beast of Jersey was known to watch his victims for large periods of time, staring at them whilst they slept, and would sometimes go days or even weeks before striking them. In the 1960s, Edward Paisenall, son-in-law to the owner of La Preference Children's Home, which was located on the island of Jersey, was a regular visitor who would often help around with bits of maintenance, even dressing once as Father Christmas for their Christmas party. However, when night came, children reported hearing faint creaks in the floorboards, and would often see shapes moving outside the door. The boogeyman was indeed at large in the house, and every night it would be the same thing. The children would be lying in their beds, and the sounds would continue. The children who dared to open their eyes to observe what was going on would often see a rubber mask looking in on them through the keyhole. Children in the attic rooms would see the same face, only this time through the floorboards below them. Imagine lying in bed and looking down only to see a mask staring back at you. It's terrifying. This would go on for nights, weeks, and sometimes months on end. If they were lucky, they would only see the shape peering in on their bedroom at night. The children who weren't so lucky would, at the dead of night, be pulled from their beds by their feet and dragged away. Many children shared rooms and would often see their friends being taken away by the boogeyman, sometimes never to return. No one suspected Edward, for the shape wore a mask, and so no identifiable features could be noted.